Legends whisper of stones that weep, 3 ancient stones forever marked by tragedy. They say these stones hold the weight of countless sorrows, their tears a chilling reminder of a past best left undisturbed. These are not tales for the faint of heart. They are whispers from the shadows, echoes of a darkness that lingers. Turn back now while you still can, for once you know the legend of the crying stones, you too will feel their sorrow. But what is it about these stones that makes them so haunting? The story begins centuries ago, in a time when the forest was home to a thriving village. The villagers revered the stones, believing them to be the guardians of their land. They would gather around them, offering prayers and gifts, hoping to appease the spirits within. However, one fateful night, a great tragedy struck. A fierce storm ravaged the village, leaving destruction in its wake. The villagers, desperate and grief-stricken, turned to the stones for solace. But instead of comfort, they found only cold, unyielding rock. As the years passed, the village was abandoned and the forest reclaimed its territory. The stones, once symbols of hope and protection, became monuments of despair. It is said that the spirits of the villagers, unable to find peace, now reside within the stones. Their sorrow seeps out in the form of tears, a constant reminder of the pain and loss they endured. Visitors to the forest often report feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness and unease. Some claim to hear faint whispers carried by the wind, while others have seen ghostly apparitions near the stones. Whether these tales are true or simply the product of overactive imaginations, one thing is certain. The legend of the crying stones continues to captivate and terrify those who dare to venture into the forest. So heed this warning. If you choose to seek out the crying stones, be prepared to confront the sorrow that lies within. Deep in the mountains of Appalachia, shrouded in mist and shadow, lies a forgotten valley. The air hangs heavy, thick with the silence of ages. Towering trees, gnarled and ancient, claw at the sky, their branches intertwined, blocking out the sun. This is the domain of the crying stones, a place where the veil between our world and the next wears thin. Even the bravest souls dare not tread here. The locals speak of a Native American tribe, guardians of the valley, who worshipped the earth and its secrets. They believed the stones were sacred, a conduit to the spirit world. But their peaceful existence was shattered. Conquerors, hungry for land and riches, descended upon the valley. They slaughtered the tribe, leaving behind a trail of blood and fire. The earth itself wept at the massacre. From the tears of the spirits rose the crying stones. A young woman, Winona, sole survivor of the massacre, hid among the trees, her heart shattered. She watched as her people, her family, were brutally murdered. Their blood soaked the ground, staining it crimson. Winona stumbled through the forest, her sanity slipping. She reached the heart of the valley, collapsing before 3 massive stones. There, amidst the remnants of her people, she wept. Winona's tears mingled with the blood of her people, seeping into the earth. The ground, once a symbol of life and growth, now bore the weight of unimaginable sorrow. Each tear that fell from her eyes was a testament to the pain and loss that had befallen her tribe. The earth seemed to drink in the sorrow, as if it too mourned the fallen. They reached the roots of the ancient trees, whispering tales of horror and loss. These trees, ancient and wise, had witnessed countless generations come and go. Their roots, deep and intertwined, held the memories of the land. The whispers that emanated from them were not just of the recent tragedy, but of centuries of stories, of battles fought and lives lost. The forest itself seemed to be alive with the echoes of the past. As the moon rose, bathing the valley in an eerie glow, a single tear traced a path down Winona's cheek. The moonlight, cold and distant, cast long shadows that danced around her. It was as if the very heavens were weeping with her, sharing in her grief. The tear, glistening in the moonlight, seemed to carry with it the weight of all her sorrow, a silent cry to the universe. It fell upon the largest of the stones, and the stone wept with her. This stone, ancient and revered, had stood as a silent guardian for generations. Now it too seemed to feel the weight of the tragedy. The droplet that landed on it shimmered, and for a moment it was as if the stone itself had come to life, sharing in Winona's pain. 2 more tears fell, each landing on the remaining stones. Each stone, a silent witness to the unfolding tragedy, seemed to absorb the tears, their surfaces glistening with the droplets. These stones, once symbols of strength and endurance, now bore the marks of sorrow, their surfaces etched with the pain of the moment. They too began to weep, their cries echoing Winona's sorrow. The stones, now appearing almost alive, seemed to resonate with her grief. The droplets that formed on their surfaces mirrored the tears that fell from her eyes. It was as if the very fabric of the land had been touched by her sorrow, and in that moment the stones and the earth itself joined her in mourning. The forest, the stones, and the moonlit valley all stood as silent witnesses to the depth of her pain, a testament to the enduring bond between the land and its people. Legend claims that every full moon, under the pale glow of the moon, the stones weep anew. Their tears a chilling reminder of the horrors that unfolded in the valley. Some say the tears are Winona's sorrow, forever etched in stone. Others believe they are the tears of the murdered tribe crying out for vengeance. Whatever their origin, the stones stand as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can consume even the most peaceful of places. Over the centuries, many have dared to venture into the valley, drawn by the legend of the crying stones. Few have returned. Those who do speak of strange occurrences, of whispers on the wind, and shadows that move unseen, of feeling a cold hand on their shoulder, turning to find nothing there. The crying stones, they say, are not content to simply mourn the past. They are hungry for company in their grief. A group of teenagers seeking adventure decided to camp in the valley. They dismissed the legends as folklore, scoffing at the idea of weeping stones. As night fell and the moon rose, the temperature dropped. A thick fog rolled in, blanketing the valley in an unnatural silence. One by one, the teenagers disappeared. Their screams, muffled by the fog, were heard by no one. Only one member of the group emerged from the valley, his eyes wide with terror, his clothes torn and bloodied. He babbled incoherently about shadows with glowing red eyes and the sound of weeping coming from the stones. He was never the same. The valley claimed his sanity that night, leaving him a hollow shell haunted by the memory of his friend's screams. The crying stones remain, a testament to the darkness that can fester in the human heart. These stones, ancient and weathered, have witnessed countless tales of sorrow and despair. They are not just mere rocks. They are the silent keepers of secrets, the guardians of forgotten pain. They stand as a warning to those who would seek to exploit the land and its people. Each stone, each monument tells a story of betrayal, of greed, and of the relentless pursuit of power. The land remembers, and it mourns for those who have suffered. Their tears a chilling reminder that some wounds never truly heal. The water that trickles down their surfaces is not just rain. It is the manifestation of the land's sorrow, the embodiment of its grief. These stones weep for the lost, for the forgotten, for the broken. So if you ever find yourself wandering through the Appalachian Mountains and you hear the sound of weeping in the distance, turn back. The mountains are alive with the echoes of the past, and the crying stones are their voice. They call out to the living, a haunting melody of sorrow and regret. For the crying stones are waiting. They wait for those who dare to tread too close, for those who ignore the warnings. They are the sentinels of the mountains, ever watchful, ever vigilant, and they are always hungry for new mourners. The stones crave the tears of the living, the sorrow of those who wander too close. They feed on the pain, the anguish, the despair. So heed the warning and stay away, for the crying stones are always watching, always waiting.